Yeah, Bernie made a huge impact here, and I'm very fortunate to be around him for 3 years, and now he's back as a TAD. So yeah, it's a tough position to be in, but I've learned a lot from him. He's still around, sitting in the back of the meeting room, so it's nice to be able to pick his brain. And yeah, so it's tough. It's a tough job to fill, but I think he's helped me a lot, taught me a lot, and he's still here teaching me. So.
Well, what did you learn from watching Bernie over the years?
He's just, really good in the little things you don't see. I mean, obviously he was really strong and people noticed that, but he had perfect hands, a really good technique with his hands and feet, and I think that's what really separates like a good D lineman to a great D lineman. So just trying to learn things like that, really working on my hands and my feet over the summer and whatnot.
In this defensive alignment of 3-4, can you kind of talk about what the nose guard's job is? From what I understand, a lot of times you're taking on double teams. You need to hold the point of attack. In your view, what is the nose guard's job?
Yeah, it's not necessarily a very glorious job, but for us, we want to keep our linebackers flowing. We want to keep them, let them run outside and make tackles. So for us, we're trying to eat up blocks. We don't like when the center gets a field, and if we could take 2 or 3 guys to block us, that's ideal. So yeah, it might not be that glorious, but it's nice to see those guys making a lot of tackles. Like the past couple years with Bernie in there, our linebackers have totaled up above 100 tackles or so, and so I think that kind of shows what the nose guard is doing.
We'll talk about last year you did well in a minimal reps. You were very effective and productive in small amount of reps.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's going to dial up a lot more. I mean, Bernie rarely came out of the game. I don't know what kind of number of snaps he took in a typical game, but it was high. Mm-hmm. That's the challenge you have now, to perform in a higher number of reps when you're tired.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I think one of the things is just be on top of recovering all season. We did a lot over the summer to get in shape, and camp we did a lot to get in shape. So keeping that steady throughout the season and just staying healthy, that's something I've prioritized. Getting in the training room just to do the extra things, and stretching out and all that kind of stuff. Just doing the little things to keep your body going. I think that'll do a lot to help me in games.
So last year when you went in, you knew you're only going to be in for a play or two, and you could kind of just let loose and expend all your energy. Does it change now, knowing that you may be in for 3, 4, 5 plays, a long series, or?
Yeah, not necessarily. We train out here against the offense and whatnot to play 7, 8 reps, and we train to be in those high pressure situations. So I think stuff like that helps. I don't think you need to change the mindset necessarily. That's one of the things we don't want to do. And I always know that if I need to get a blow, Dylan or Pittman or one of those guys behind me will be able to come in. So that's not necessarily a worry.
Well, so obviously on paper, some fans might look at the defensive line as a bit of a question mark because you only have one returning starter coming back in Amos. Mm-hmm. You lost 2 very good players in Will and Bernie.
Yep.
Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's been a long process since once we got together back in January, and I think we made some great strides. We have a lot of competition still going on. We've had a lot of guys step up and that had really great springs, great summers, and then have done really well in fall camp. So it's been a really exciting off season, and I'm really proud of what our group has done. We're not where we want to be yet, but we made some good steps, and I'm excited to see where we finish up.
So when you were a younger guy, Coach Pearson was the defensive line coach. Now you got Coach Nua.
Yeah.
How do you getting along with Coach Nua, and what do you think of him as a coach?
Yeah, he's great. He's a great person to be around. He's a really loving guy, but he's a great coach. He's had a lot of great experiences at BYU and the Steelers, and he knows his stuff. So he's real laid back, and I like his approach to coaching. But yeah, he's an incredible coach. Having him and Coach Sykes around, they really know their stuff. And like I said, Bernie's still around too, helping out. So it's really great to have those 3.
Defensive line coach, were there some things you were able to implement, some thoughts, philosophies perhaps that you could bring to the table, or did you already do that last season?
No, it's the same thing though. It's college football. You have to revamp things every year. It's not like you have the same crop of kids like the NFL. You gotta reestablish the mindset that you want them to play at, the knowledge that you wish for them to obtain. So it's the same thing. You just gotta start from the basics and go on.
So you lost 2 of the guys that were among the best of their position here during this current triple option era. I'll actually say more when the 3-4 era, since Buddy installed that, in Will and Bernie. Number one, talk about Bernie. I know the coaches respected what he did, but a lot of fans may not appreciate Bernie until he's gone. Can you talk about losing a guy like Bernie?
Yeah, the scheme we play, you have to be very unselfish to be in that middle position. So Bernie was all of it. He's the ideal guy, character-wise, mindset. Um, he was the perfect guy. So Bernie, we're not trying to replace Bernie, but we're trying to have our guys live up to what Bernie, the standard that he set. He was so good. He was the way he prepared, the way he got his mind right. That's what we're trying our guys to get there.
And he was a workhorse. He played a lot of plays during games. How many plays did Patrick Forrestal normally get during a game? 5, 6, 7?
Yeah, probably between 8 to 10, you know,
Right.
and because you have Bernie, he's so well prepared. He was in great shape to carry the load, you know, and that's when Patrick goes. So, and that's the thing that we're trying to get Patrick ready for is that load of work that he has to carry, you know. So that's why we're also focusing on depth, you know, because you can't simulate game speed.
Right.
So we try to take advantage of everything we get, especially when you go against our offense. That's when, and you can't tell until game time. So the best thing we can do is just prepare them as much as we can until we get there, and then hopefully Pat Forrestal, Pittman, you know, and all the younger guys come through.
Well, as I was saying, you can't expect Forrestal to play the number of plays in a game that Bernie did, at least not initially. Maybe he'll build to that. I guess would that be fair to say?
It's hard to tell. I hope so. I hope we can. I hope when the lights go on and the game starts, I hope Patrick's like, I'm fresh, keep me in. But we got to prepare for the worst. That's our job, is to make sure that no matter what happens, we have an answer to whatever situation comes. And we're confident in how the young guys are coming up. We just got to be ready for whatever comes through.
On that note, the latest depth chart came out, and Jackson Pittman, a freshman, is on the depth. That might be surprising at that position in particular, which is, you know, young guys don't normally play on the front lines in college football.
Yeah,
What's Pittman showing you?
Potential. That's the max potential. It's hard for us to say, oh, Pittman's really good and he's going to do good in games, because you can't simulate games. You know,
Right.
We can't tell. But the potential that he has is amazing. It's you know, it's unlimited, and we hope that he can have the same peace of mind when he goes into the real game and perform, you know. But that's probably the best word to say. He has great potential.
Now on the spot where Will Anthony was, you know, he was a playmaker. He was a disruptor. It looks as though, is Paulo moving over to that side, or are you going to keep Jarvis on? Where is he basically replacing Will Anthony, Jarvis?
Not replace it. Jarvis got to be Jarvis. You know, I don't think you can replace Will Anthony. Jarvis got a long ways to go himself, you know, so it's not replacing him. He's just trying to establish himself, and he's got long ways to go. Him, Patrick, Amos is probably the only one that knows the feeling of a 12-play drive, an 8-play drive, you know. So Jarvis and Patrick they got a lot to prove.
Well, Amos did some good things last year. Do you think Amos can give you some of what Will gave you as far as being a disruptor,
No doubt.
getting in the backfield?
Experience is priceless, and the experience he got is the reason why he's playing really fast in this camp. Now he's got to stay healthy, and he's got to stay humble, and he's got to maintain that strength throughout the season. But he is that guy we're expecting a lot from, because he has the most experience.
Real quickly, back on Paulo, what does he bring to the table that you like?
Strength. He's heavy. He
Looks bigger this year.
He has mass, and he can handle the double team. Because the things we're telling those guys to do is not easy, you know. So that's what he has. He plays with great hands, pad level. Now we got to get him to play consistent, you know, consistent throughout the game and throughout plays.
Is with Mason, is it the motor? Is that what you like?
Mason is motor, and you know, we got some good young guys too. You talk about motor, Cromartie has great motor, you know, so that's the good thing about our squad. We have good depth, but it's just potential. We got to wait and see.
I was going to say, other defensive ends I've seen out here, Sales,
Yep.
Webb.
Yep.
Looks like you got a good, decent young group back.
We got a good group, but remains to be seen. You
Right.
know, like we can't wait to get tested, but we are grateful we have 2 weeks, because we still got a long ways to go.